Hello everyone and welcome to Thrive Labs, the best place to learn everything about technical analysis and the financial markets. And boy oh boy, we have a hot topic to discuss today because as you can see on the chart, I'm looking here at the Bitcoin chart. We are nearing all-time highs. Today is the 1st of February. That means we have seen an extremely bullish market close just before all-time highs. Today, I'm going to talk about what levels you need to be aware of. I'm your host, Mike Williams. Enjoy, leave a like and subscribe, and let's just dive straight into it. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to be aware of to the upside and to the downside. It is undeniably a fact that Bitcoin is making its rise. And I think a lot of people are at the gate. Where are we now in the markets? Is this a place where we could potentially turn around? Or is this indeed going to be the big run to the upside? I'm going to do some technical analysis and I'm going to calm and ease your mind where you can get some actual grip on the chart, where we can assess simply if the market remains strong or where are we going to be seeing weakness, as well as something very interesting that I think you really should be aware of before you jump on the full-on bull train. The first thing I want to mention is, do keep in mind though, we have seen one of the largest monthly candles ever on Bitcoin. And I'm talking here about the candle body. This is simply the largest monthly candle body that we have ever seen in the history of Bitcoin. It is truly amazing. It is truly amazing. Where after all, the ETF inflows are doing its work and we are seeing a significant increase in price after having seen an initial rejection due to the outflows on the GBTC part of the things at $50,000. We have seen a 21% retracement. Everything and more we have already talked about and predicted very well in advance within our trading community, and have also traded it really successfully. However, now we are at much higher prices, and as always, we simply continue to do the exact same thing, which is doing technical analysis, letting our emotions not guide us in our decision-making process, and instead look at the chart for what it is. And what it is right now, the chart looks undeniably strong. However, let's do some technical analysis. If we pull, let's say, a fixed range, then we can quickly assess where is price trading within or outside of value. And that we can see, we have that light area here over here that is showing us that the value area is in between $55,000 and all the way on towards $30,000. That is and has been in the past 2 to 3 years been accepted as fair value. Now we have clearly broken out with a very convincing candle. However, should we break back inside this line, then we are starting to trade back into the previously accepted value, and all of this might just have been just a candle full of excitement, full of anticipation, and maybe we are not going to see all-time highs yet. However, we are currently trading above this value area high, and therefore I am marking this out as a very important key level. And as long as we do stay above this level, the chances are very high that not only on the USD pair, but just like the Japanese yen pair, the Turkish lira pair, and many other world currencies where the chart is already at all-time highs, we might see something very similar on the mother of all pairs, which is of course the USD pair. So, you know, for me, $55,000 is absolutely key level if we want to see upside immediately, right? Immediately. Now, before all-time highs, there is still one single level that I think needs to be taken into account. And to be honest, guys, with you, I am starting to run out of proper resistance levels here. Let's be honest, we are at very high prices over here. However, I have found one level that you do need to be aware of. Of course, I'm marking out the actual all-time highs, which here on this particular chart is at $69,182.50. But before that, we also have a weekly candle close that has marked out the previous all-time high before, which is located at 65,560. And I also want to touch upon the possibilities that can occur from here, because as you all can see, you know, we are undeniably in a bullish market structure, right? The trend is simply up, and that is not something you want to be jumping in front of. This is what a lot of people do. As we use order flow in our trading community every single day, we can see live during the price action the amount of fear that instantly comes into the market when the market drops just a few percent. However, due to the fact that we are actually having seen a rejection, a very stern rejection, just in 1 hour time, we have seen a drop of 8 to 9% in just under an hour. Now, of course, this might spook some people. However, this is where technical analysis and thorough understanding of the market and reading it for what it is becomes absolutely essential. Because if you really think and use your brain correctly, rather than wanting to see a top, you know, you want price to invalidate certain levels in order for us to show signs of weakness. Well, I've already given you a really big and important level, right, that you want to be aware of. And as you can see, we haven't even come close to this particular level at all. So all that it is just yet another dip before we saw a really big retracement, and right now we are calming down a little bit as we are making a decision whether we are going to indeed test this 65,560 level, or we are indeed going to go down and test that key level. Anything above this particular key level, this is my personal approach, not financial advice, for me is all about buying the dip. That's it. The trend is up. It's not something I want to be jumping in front of. And of course, as a trader, I'm also happy to be wrong, because if I take, let's say, a losing trade, let's say we do fall down and we start backtesting this as resistance, it also opens up new opportunities at the same time. I can close my trade for a calculated loss and simply flip to the other side of the market, trading the probabilities as we go along. And as long as you keep your losses smaller than your wins, you will end up profitable. That's it. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I do want to bring it to your attention that we might see some interesting price action as we are approaching all-time highs, because you know a lot of people say this time is different, but I also would like to remind you that history does not necessarily repeat itself all the time, but it certainly does rhyme. So let's take a real quick look at how price performed at previous all-time highs. And for that, I need to flip over to yet another different chart where we can look all the way back to 2011, right? And the first real bull market top was over here at $1,200. And then just 3 years later, we started breaking all-time highs once again. But if we would mark that out and just look at that particular price action, you can see over here that we just didn't break it just right away and just blast it through, as I'm sure many people are expecting. We have seen really stern and deep pullbacks before that. As a matter of fact, we even front run the level first, and based off of that, we had a 34% retracement. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I would call a really good golden buying opportunity, buying the dip, right? After that, we have breached all-time highs, seen a really big fake out, and then we've seen yet another 33% drop to the downside before definitively breaking out to all-time highs, backtesting it as resistance, and make that run up all the way to $20,000, which at the time was obviously mind-blowing. Now, let's fast forward to the very next beginning of that bull market that followed thereafter, where we are marking out once again that all-time high here at $20,000 more or less, and we can see that we just didn't break just right away through that level. Let me mark that out exactly. Now let's zoom in a little bit over here as well. We still see, of course, in hindsight, this looks like nothing. But if you are looking for opportunities in the heat of the moment, and keep in mind, we are here looking at a 3-day time frame. If you would zoom in into the lower time frames, such as the 4-hour, the 1-hour, or day trading time frames, such as 15-minute or 5-minute time frames, this is obviously really massive price action. But let's just measure it. We see the exact same thing happening in over here. We are front running over here that previous all-time highs, and we see yet another drop in price of 16% again before, you know, tapping all-time highs, having yet another fake out, seeing another 10% decrease to the downside, consolidating for over a month before ultimately definitively breaking all-time highs. So that is something that you really do want to be aware of. You know, because we might just see the exact same thing over here. We might just front run, perhaps even the key level that I just mentioned, which I do think there is a probability of doing so. We could see once again a retracement of 30%. And that would approximately bring us back down to $45,000 level, which also corresponds pretty nicely with not only a monthly level, but also more or less the midline or the top of the previous range that we have embarked on after the ETF approval that we've seen in on the 8th of January. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this is extremely helpful to you. Now, obviously, the real question is, of course, how high can we ultimately go? If you want to know the answer of that, I have done a very, very, very in-depth, very special video that I'm almost certain that nobody has even thought about or has really analyzed in such detail. I have done a 1.5 hour video talking about the ultimate Bitcoin super cycle and what that could look like. I go here over the entire chart from its inception. I'm utilizing Elliott waves over here, as you can see. I'm taking notes, I'm explaining things, but I'm also going over the psychology, the mass psychology that comes with these kind of bull markets, and how this particular cycle is a very different cycle in terms of psychology. And I'm going to go into the very, 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 very fine details with this. And you know, that doesn't go unnoticed, because we do have here our tribe over here. We do have here people, you know, thanking, you know, and feeling prepared for this run to come, right? Even some people are just, you know, have been longing for a long time, chilling at the bar right now with a nice glass of wine. Salute to you, my friend. And, you know, really nice, really nice. A lot of people are finding this very helpful. This and more you can find in Thrive Labs, our training community included, coming along with courses, all that. You know, and then in the meantime, after you've learned everything, you can start trading with much more confidence. Personally, I am right now trading on 2bit, which is my current favorite exchange. Actually, I'm trading on this every day now. It's very nice. It's not KYC. All you have to do is click on the link in the description below, get yourself an account, you get some nice bonuses, no KYC. Just setting up an account, you deposit some cash, and you can get going. You can trade spot, you can trade derivatives, you can go long, short, you can trade on leverage if that is of your liking, and if this fits your personal trading and risk management, of course. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a real quick summary of of everything that I just said, because I can imagine it might be a little bit confusing. Basically put, over here, we are here approaching all-time highs, very close to it. We are less than 20% away. As a matter of fact, we're 10% away from all-time highs. We are trading outside of value area that is established over the course of 2.5 years or so. As long as we stay above that level, which is located at $55,000, stay above that, I think it's very probable we will see an attempt at breaking the all-time highs before before we are getting the halving. One level to be aware of is $65,560. That could pose a little bit of resistance. And, you know, looking at the past data that we've seen over the previous cycle, how the price action looked like when we were approaching all-time highs over there, we could expect a retracement if it actually is initiated, you know. And I repeat, you don't necessarily want to trade against the trend, but you do want to be aware of the fact that it can happen, right? And if that happens and we would see something similar that we've seen at past previous all-time highs, then obviously $55,000 is going to be a major level of importance. And if we do get a deeper retracement, then approximately $45,000 is also in the cards before we continue up and definitively break that all-time high. Hopefully you are now fully informed, and I hope that you have some luggage that you can think about. If you want to learn more, if you want to get updated every single day about this actual price action, and of course trade altcoins with us in the Tribe community right now, it's really we're going hard here, guys. People are trading left and right altcoins. Good high quality analysis, not only for myself, but also from the community members, where you can also learn from if you are more of a beginner, but also if you're more advanced, then you can find like-minded people that you can share your thoughts and ideas with, and together trade to profitability that is not only just a few times, but consistent to change your future and change your life for the better. That's me out. Have a great weekend and see you in the next video. Cheers.